Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Liberty Hour. I just wanted to say thanks again to Izzy for being on. You were a pleasure. It was great. You never really see people go that in depth when it comes to gun control, and I think that's what we should see more in the media because we don't see that enough. With all that being said, away from all the depressive stuff on gun control and everything, we're going to get into some sports for you guys. And the person I have on this week is my good friend Darren Podyungan. I met him my sophomore year of high school. Very good friends with him. Always talk football, basketball with him. We hang out all the time. He's one of the coolest dudes I know, and I just wanted to introduce you. How you doing, man?
Good.
Cool, man. Awesome. I know, obviously, we hung out last night and we got to chat a little bit about NBA and what's been going on. But I know you're a Heat fan, and I wanted to just ask you straight off, what do you think you guys need to do better in terms of offense, defense, any specifics, if you guys are going to climb up that ladder in the East and get to a higher seed?
I think we need to. Our offense is getting up. It's just a problem with our defense. Whiteside has not been playing so well. So has Josh Richardson. Like a couple games back against Pelicans, they've been really bad defensively. Could not stop the pick and roll. They made Drew Holiday and Anthony Davis look like Penny Hardaway and Shaq days.
Yeah,
it was pretty hard for those guys.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is Lakers had like multiple people in 20 points last night. Obviously, you had Isaiah who went off. You had Lonzo who got a 4x6. And the thing is, you guys aren't a bad team. You're not. Like, you guys have so much potential. You look good. Like, especially with Wade back. You guys have, he's been averaging like 14 a game with you guys ever since he's been back. In March alone, and one sec. Freaking ads on websites. He got 25. I mean, and he's been playing really good ever since he's been back. And we're going and watching Wade, I know, in a couple weeks. Hopefully he starts. But you guys have a big game this Saturday against Detroit, who's 9, and you guys are an 8. And that's what I mainly wanted to get into, is where things currently stand. So we have this is 6 through 11 in the East. The Sixers are 34 and 27. Bucks are 33 and 29. Heat are 32 and 30 at an 8 seed. The Pistons are 3 back of the Heat, and the Hornets are 4.5 back of the Heat. So I was going to ask you, in terms of playoff picture for the East, where do you see everything land, and who do you think will be first in the East, and who do you possibly see getting in, if anybody, on the bubble?
For Eastern side, yeah. I would have to say Celtics would probably take first, and for how it's going for the Cavs, it's a pretty close. I don't know if they're going to be able to climb back. I mean, they're doing pretty well with the players they got.
Yeah.
I would probably have to say Cavs second and Raptors third.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think the Raptors are a fluke. I don't want to say that because I mean I feel like DeRozan's been playing so good this year. Lowry's picked up his game, and you have Ibaka who's been playing good down low, but they don't have a bench. They don't, and that's what's so important come playoff time and the end of the season. And I don't know how long they can keep up this great play. I mean, the East is just so weak that they've been fortunate enough to get these wins. But even though the Cavs are 8 back, I could see them climbing back. I mean, I agree with you there. In terms of teams on the bubble in the East, if there are any movement in terms of the seeds, where do you see that possibly happen?
Well, I think the bottom half is there are the Bucks. I think they're gonna stay in the playoffs. I think it's gonna be a tough competition between Miami and the Pistons and possibly the Hornets, but I don't know yet. But yeah, it's pretty competitive between the Heat and Pistons right now. Knowing that the Pistons with Blake Griffin, he's been doing well, but sadly I think they lost today.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they lost too. I was doing some score updates earlier, and I'm pretty sure they lost.
Yeah, I don't think the Knicks, Bulls, or the Nets, the Magic, on that. They have not been playing pretty well.
No,
So
they haven't.
I don't think they'll touch that place. But I still think that the Pistons, Hornets, and the Heat will be competing for that eighth seed or staying into the playoffs for Miami.
Right. I was looking up the scores. Yeah, Detroit lost to the Magic earlier in that game. Thunder ended up beating the Jazz. Okay, that's cool. Raptors pulled away against the Wizards, and Clippers are up right now. Yeah, I'm with you there. I think the Heat will be an 8 seed, and if Boston is first seed, you'd see that rivalry come back between Boston and Miami, which I think would be really cool. I think the Raptors will be second. I don't know. The Cavs have a long ladder to climb to get back up to second. So I'd probably put Toronto at second, and I'd probably keep the Bucks at 7. So that'd be a good series. Cavs 3, Sixers or Pacers. I think I might go Pacers 6. So Cavs Pacers again, which would be a good series this year, and Wizards Sixers. I think I'll go with that as the 4 and 5. That's going to be extremely competitive. I'm looking forward. I mean, Boston doesn't want to see you guys first round, that's for sure. I mean, that's going to be a really good series. But in terms of what's even more interesting is the Western Conference. So you have Warriors and Rockets who are tied right now. And then it's just jam-packed pretty much all the way down to the 9 seed. So you have the Timberwolves, who are 12 back of Rockets, Warriors, Blazers, who are 12.5, Spurs 12.5, Thunder 12.5, Pelicans 13, Nuggets 14.5, Clippers 15.5. And this is going to be really interesting to see how it goes here in the last roughly 20-ish games of the season. And I wanted to get your thoughts. Who do you think will take the 1 seed between the Warriors and the Rockets? And then who do you see getting in the playoffs? The Jazz are also 17 back as well, so that's another team in there. Who do you see who's on the bubble either missing the playoffs or making it?
First, I think it's pretty competitive between Rockets and Warriors. But Rockets are on a 14 win streak right now, so I think they'll keep it up. So I would go with the Rockets at first seed. Than the Warriors.
I just saw that 14-game win streak. God damn. That's insane, man. They have an 8.9 point differential on points per game. That's just insane. But, yeah, so I'm with... Okay, and then in terms on the bubble, who do you think?
I think it's going to be pretty competitive between... Pelicans will... I think Pelicans might go up. Between the Nuggets and Jazz, I'm gonna have to go with the Jazz. With Donovan Mitchell playing really high for his rookie campaign, I think the Jazz will take that 8th seed.
And then what about the Clippers? Do you think they'll miss the playoffs?
Yeah, I think the Clippers will miss the playoffs.
I feel bad for Lou Will, man. He's hella good, but I mean, he needs more.
Right. I thought they were going to go through a rebuild and trade Blue Will and DeAndre, but it turns out they kept those guys.
Speaking of Rookie of the Year, we'll get into that in a second. In terms of the bubble, if Donovan Mitchell, and like I said, we'll get into rookies in a sec, if he keeps playing the way he's playing, and they actually have a pretty solid bench. Rubio's been playing the best he has in years. Gobert's still playing solid. They got Crowder now. I think they can take the 8 seed away from Denver. I really do. And I'd put them at the 8 seed. Rockets are on a 14-game win streak. Yeah. It's like, I want to say the Warriors because, I mean, the thing is, it's hard to bet against them, obviously, and that's just not coming from a Warrior fan perspective. It's just true. But at the same point, I'd probably say Houston probably will take that 1 seed. Houston's bench is a little bit more scary than Golden State's, and that's one thing that scares me come playoff time. So I'll go Houston 1, Warriors 2. Houston will play Jazz first round as the 8. You got Warriors and... I have no idea. I mean, Pelicans are going to have to move up. And then, honestly, you know who I might put at 7? I might put OKC at 7. They've been playing so, like, they're not there. Like, they're inconsistent.
I think the same, too. I think the Pelicans would go on top of them.
But I mean, another team, honestly, who might get the 7 instead of the Thunder could be the Spurs if Kawhi doesn't come back. That's the thing. They have nobody right now. Plus, Aldridge is hurt. I mean, they have nobody. Literally, Popovich is keeping them in the playoff hunt.
That's right.
I might put Spurs at 7, honestly. I might go Warriors Spurs first round, which actually scares the heck out of me, especially if Kawhi's back, which he should be by that time. And then I'll put Pelicans at 6. Ooh, do I want to put them? That's hard. And I think I'm going to go Blazers at 6. Actually, that's tough. I'm going to go Blazers 6. And then I'd put Timberwolves 3rd, so that'd be the series there. And then you've got a series between the Pelicans and the Thunder at 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think that's a tough one.
That's tough, too. That'd be a huge series. Well, it'd be interesting to see how Adams, who's a good defensive player, would be able to guard Anthony Davis, who's been playing out of his mind, by the way. He's been being a monster ever since Cousins has gotten injured, and him and Drew Holiday have been the key cause of why New Orleans is still even a factor when it comes to the West.
Right.
Getting into the Rookie of the Year conversation. So I was talking about this with Zach a couple weeks ago, and a couple weeks ago I had my rankings even different than I'd have it now. So I'll go ahead and start with you. Who would you put as the top 4 Rookies of the Year candidates, and why?
I'd have to say Donovan Mitchell at 1, Ben Simmons at 2, and Jason Tatum at 3, and Kuzma at 4. Mitchell is having how many is averaging right now?
20.
17? 20?
I'm pretty sure it's 20. I'll look that up.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure it's 20.
He's been unstoppable this season, and it was hard to pick between Mitchell and Ben Simmons, knowing Ben Simmons is playing great too. Jason Tatum, he's been a little bit quiet, but he still started out pretty well. And for Kuzma, I would take him over Lonzo Ball. Kuzma's been a way better rookie. I think Kuzma deserves that first round draft.
And we'll get into the Lakers in a sec, because that's another thing I want to talk about too, NBA-wise. Mitchell's 19.6.
19.6. That's insane. That's pretty good. That's really good for a rookie.
So what I was going to say is, in terms of the rookie conversation, so 2 weeks ago, I put Simmons first. And I was talking with somebody at work today about this, and I agreed. When teams look to prepare for players that they face, when you're thinking about the Sixers, you're not thinking about preparing for Ben Simmons. You're thinking about preparing for Embiid. When you're playing the Jazz, you're thinking about, I'm preparing for Donovan Mitchell. And that's the thing. That's why I probably put Mitchell above. It's because he's more of a scary player, I think, than Ben Simmons. Even though Simmons, I respect what he's done all year, getting triple-doubles left and right. Mitchell has been the most consistent rookie out of anybody. And he's really the only reason that the Jazz still have a chance to make the playoffs.
Right, that's so true.
Yeah, so I probably put Mitchell there. I put him first, Simmons second. It's tough. I mean, I think I'm going to go Tatum third, and then I'm going to put Bogdanovich 4. I'm going to go Bogdanovich 4, I think, from the Kings. He's the only thing the Kings have really got. So I'd put him at 4. I'd put Kuzma 5. After that, I'd go Dennis Smith 6, and then I'd probably go Josh Jackson 7, and then I'd either go Adebayo or Alonzo.
Okay.
If I didn't mention Kuzma in there, you could throw Kuzma in at 5.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I would have Bogdan at 5, and Dennis Smith at 6, and I don't see Lonzo at top 10 for my list.
I put him barely top 10, and that's just because even though he hasn't been shooting the ball great, he still puts up numbers for rookies that are at least somewhat decent.
Mm-hmm.
What was one thing I was going to talk about just now? I just had something up. No, it wasn't the Jazz game. I can't think of it right now. I was talking about Josh Jackson with the Suns. Do you think Devin Booker in the offseason is going to try to leave and go somewhere in the offseason?
I I don't think he will.
Oh shoot, there's my 15 minutes, guys. I'm so